This is Investigating AI Deepfakes by CoffeeZilla.
Today we're
I'm a little AI kind of scares me. I use AI every day. But these deepfakes scare me because I can't tell what's real and what's not anymore. I am 100% gonna get scanned when I'm older because at my young age, I'm very confused when I go on the internet. Like I'll look at something and I don't know if it's fake until I go to the comments and people are calling it out. And it's just sad.
investigating
AI deepfakes.
For the scams, propaganda,
and harassment that they enable.
Pretty spooky, right? Now, I tried to make this video 4 years ago, but I failed because it was too difficult to even demonstrate the technology. But today, anyone can be deepfaked, even the internet detective. Hi, everybody. This is CoffeeZilla, and I don't usually do videos like this, but the crypto market is going through a major crash. Now, let me stop me right there. I can't believe I used to trust that guy. But truthfully, nobody is really safe from this tech. Mr. Beast, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Joe Rogan, Lex Fridman, The Rock, John Cena, they've all been deepfaked.
Oh, Taylor Swift, y'all remember that? And Megan Thee Stallion. Everyone gets defaked. And you can't tell. You can't.
And it's
At
not
least I
just for
can't.
scams, viral videos, news reports. The White House has even shared deepfakes. And today I want to investigate all of it so we can finally learn what's real and what's fake. All right, before we can investigate deepfakes, let's break down what they are. A deepfake is just a piece of media that makes a person do or say something that never happened using deep learning. Hence the word deepfake. The technology has been around since 2017, but it started going viral with this.
I'm gonna show you some magic. It's the real thing.
Except, of course, it's not the real thing. That's not Tom Cruise. It's Miles Fisher, and he's the
Oh, I didn't know who this person was. I was confused.
co-founder of Metaphysic AI, and he deepfaked himself several times, fooling almost everyone. If you made a chart of realism from 0 to 100, this felt like a 90, and I was worried about how it could be abused with scams, especially as they put in more effort, time, and money to push the realism. And that's why I reached out to Metaphysic AI in 2022 to collaborate, and they agreed to deepfake me so I could warn people. But unfortunately, that's when I hit a roadblock because I learned about the incredibly complicated technology behind Deep Tom Cruise. I would need multiple broadcast cameras, lights, I had to read a special script, and that's just to get the model trained. Then you have to act, and for a variety of reasons, I wasn't able to finish the video. The magic of Deep Tom Cruise was that they made a very complicated process just look really easy. But ultimately, I'm glad I didn't finish that video because I was about to warn the world about this kind of hyper-realistic deepfake. And that's kind of what the world already is worried about, right? Because it captures our imagination. We can all imagine a world where this is the norm, that you really can't tell what's real or fake. And that's why every few years, a hyper-real deepfake celebrity goes viral, because it's a step towards that fear.
we're entering an era in which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time, like Jordan Peele.
But today I'm convinced there's a bigger risk, something that I spent very little time worrying about, which is actually the dumb deepfakes, the slop deepfakes, the obviously bad ones that were made on consumer apps. The kind of deepfakes.
These are the ones that get me. Like, I was watching one and it was some rabbits jumping on a trampoline. And I was like, oh, this is so cute. Like, they're having fun. And then it was like months later, someone told me that video was fake. And I was like, what was the point of that? Like, why were they pretending to have rabbits jump on a trampoline? What did that accomplish?
You don't need professional equipment for, or a Hollywood team for. Early on, most people and myself just disregarded them because it just seemed like they were obviously fake. But the threat I didn't see coming was that curve we saw earlier flattening, and the low-effort deepfakes starting to get realistic enough to fool enough people. And that makes them far more dangerous than Deep Tom Cruise could ever be, because unlike him, anyone can make slop deepfakes easily and at scale. And of course, that's exactly what happened in 2025, literally the year of slop. That's when we all saw a tidal wave of content, and it's not a surprise why. AI tools had gotten cheap enough, easy enough, and just good enough to flood social media. And unfortunately, I think deepfakes are experiencing the same phenomenon. Just think about the difference between the two approaches. 4 years ago, I was set to collaborate with a world-leading deepfake company. I would need their help, their specialized technology, a custom training set, and a huge amount of data. But today, I deepfaked the intro you saw in the beginning with two $20 subscriptions by myself. I used the likeness of 3 presidents, the world's richest man, the world's most popular YouTuber and podcaster, and had them all say things they never said. And how long did it take me? 2 days, mostly because I'd never done it before. And you might say, well, it didn't look as real as Deep Tom Cruise, and that's absolutely true.
It looked a little real to me. I give him his props.
But my question that I'm starting to ask is, does it need to be that real to fool
No.
enough people to be dangerous? How good is the average person anyways at telling the difference between AI fakes and the real thing? And this is where I realized I needed an expert's help. So I went to the
Also, if you're just scrolling on your phone, like the screen is but so big. You can see something and it might be like a little tiny detail that's off, but like because of how small it is and how small your screen is or how far away you're holding your phone, you might not see it. Or how fast you scroll, you could watch like, oh, that's cool, and keep scrolling, just thinking that was real. But if you just waited and watched like 30 more seconds, that's probably when like the very obvious AI effect would happen. You like, shit, now I'm spreading false information.
Discord diner to find answers. Can you tell me your name and what it is you do?
My name is Hani Farid. I'm a professor here at the University of California, Berkeley, where I specialize in digital forensics, misinformation. The first thing you want to ask yourself about the type of work that I do, which is building computational mathematical techniques to detect fake content, is do you need it? Can your visual system and your auditory system tell? We run in my lab here at UC Berkeley perceptual studies where we, for example, have people look at images. Half of them are real, half of them are fake. Hundreds and hundreds of participants, they're barely above chance. Images are through what we call the uncanny valley. They are now indistinguishable. Now with voices, same thing. Real voices, fake voices, half real, half fake. We published this study just about a year ago, I think, maybe 9 months.
I think with voices, you can't tell unless you already know that person's voice. Like, which I guess is what they're hitting at. But if I hear Barack Obama's voice, I know when it's Barack Obama or not. And I think it also has to do with like the person's ethnicity. Like, I can tell Barack Obama's voice, but if someone is deep faking, I don't know, someone of another race, I probably couldn't tell the difference. Like, I just know like how his voice is supposed to sound. Like, I can tell like how he should say certain words. Like, if I'm not part of that culture, I probably don't know how they're supposed to say certain words.
Ago, also barely above chance. With video is interesting. So video is, we are doing this literally as we speak. We have a paper under review right now. I would say it's a little bit better than images, a little bit better than audio. Your accuracy, where chance is 50%, is about 70%, give or take. So slightly above chance. But again, in the best possible situation, in a lab setting where we're telling you what to do, they're not emotional videos, they're not partisanship, you don't have a prior belief. I would say within the next 12 months, full-blown video is going to be over, right? It's over.
Let me repeat that. Most people cannot tell fake audio. They can't tell fake pictures. And in 12 months, they probably won't be able to tell.
Yeah, I can't tell pictures anymore either. Pictures, audio of strangers. Because there was a story recently, and I think it was a teacher or someone involved with like a school board or something, but they were supposedly recorded saying like some really awful things. Like they were saying slurs and talking about the students. But then they came out and it was like, oh, it was AI. And I was like, well, how do we know it was AI? Like it sounded real, but like shit, maybe it was AI. Because they were saying that like they debunked it, like people went and investigated. I'm like, well, who investigated it? And what did you use to prove that it was AI or not?
Fake videos. What does this mean for us as a people who are living in a world of media? That is what this investigation is about. We're going to look at the 3 biggest applications of deepfakes in your life, specifically scams, propaganda, and explicit media, starting with scams, where deepfakes are used all of the time to impersonate people, whether it be a loved one, a celebrity, an influencer like Mr. Beast. They're usually deepfaked to sell a worthless product.
If you're watching this video, you're one of the 10,000 lucky people who'll get an iPhone 15 Pro for just $2.
That Alpha Grind product that's all over TikTok If you go to Amazon and you type in libido booster for men, you're going to find it right at the top.
Or in my case, cryptocurrency.
But it's in moments like these that the best opportunities are born.
Sometimes they're even selling companionship.
We'll get through this together, step by step. You're not alone, and I love you more than words can say.
But the goal every time is to leverage your trust in the deepfaked identity and use it to make money. One of the most common schemes are live streams of President Trump or other famous CEOs, deepfaked with a pretty simple scam.
If you want to come out stronger, you need to build your portfolio back up fast. And that QR code is your gateway. Minimum 0.1 BTC, 1 ETH, you send.
Also, in times like this, I wish catfish did not get canceled. Like, people always say, like, how can you get catfish nowadays? With this, you know, back in the day, people used to catfish you by calling you on one phone and then on the other screen having like a celebrity playing. So you would just have a video of Trump and then you had the screen held up to it and you would pretend that you were Trump. And mind you, a FaceTime call, people would fall for that. So FaceTime call and you just holding up a video close to the screen and you're like, oh, that's such and such. Now you're doing this. There's no way people can know. How are old people surviving? I don't understand.
You get double. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, of course, President Trump is not actually going to double your money, and scammers just steal whatever you send. But despite YouTube trying for years to shut this down, they keep popping up. These scammers keep bypassing restrictions all the time, and sadly, YouTube CEO even admits it's getting harder to detect what's real and what's AI generated, which he says is critical for detecting deep fakes. Now, because of this, YouTube in 2026 is rolling out new tools to help creators catch deep fakes. But even those solutions aren't perfect.
My name is Dr. Mikhail Varshavsky, better known as Dr. Mike. I'm a board-certified family medicine physician who makes content online focusing on busting health misinformation. We are fortunate enough that we're participating in a beta with the YouTube team on something called the likeness detection tool to potentially flag instances where people are misusing my image, my likeness to say things that I'm not saying.
Have you seen yourself deep faked in the wild yet?
I am deep faked in the wild every single day, numerous times a day, and we're trying our best to fight back against that given certain platforms have tools to fight back against it.
That's scary. Someone deep faking a doctor and you just out here giving out fake health advice? My gosh. Stuff like that is so, well, I guess people are doing it to scam people again. They're probably like, hey, like buy this to make you feel better or buy this to lose weight. But what if they just out here just being assholes? Diabetes, like, oh, this food is safe for you when you're diabetic. You're like, actually, it's on the opposite. It's hurting you. Oh my goodness. Because you just never know people's intentions. So they could be doing it to make money or they could just be doing it to fuck with people. So many options.
But then there are platforms where you have
either way,
no
it's hurtful.
say, and you just have to be okay with your image being misused.
Right. Dr. Mike highlights a problem. He's in the YouTube detection program, stopping deepfakes. But even if that were perfect, on other platforms, there's just nothing to help him.
And the problem in this space is you're only as good as the lowest common denominator. You can have 9 out of 10 of these platforms doing the right thing, and one of them not, and guess where the bad guy goes?
Well, of course, to the place who allows deep fakes. Now, I should mention, it's not always a real doctor, detective, or Mr. Beast that's being impersonated. Sometimes the deep fake isn't even of a real person, but the scam is some kind of bait and switch. Like when Corridor Digital showed how an AI modeling photo was used to bait and switch people into buying a product that wasn't what they advertised. And this is actually a huge problem in e-commerce. The YouTuber Pleasant Green made a video about a trend of old people selling you handcrafted products, only to find out that all these old artisans are AI generated, and the real owners are selling cheap Chinese knockoffs, which look nothing like the product photos. That cute couple selling you hand-knit sweaters, they don't exist. But even if the prime...
There was a TikTok one about this. There's this old man who would get online and he would just show like sewing videos and like how you sew this, how you would craft this. And then someone started using his videos to sell like socks. But it wasn't him. It was just a deep fake of him selling socks. And he tried to report them. But then TikTok thought he was the real AI. And they got his page banned instead of the real AI. And I was like, what is going on? And this old man, he he was just up there sewing and knitting. Like he was just up there having fun. He, oh, that I felt so bad because like his daughter got on. He was like, "Hey, can you guys help us?" But I don't know how TikTok works. Like I guess they couldn't get in touch with no one to like fix it. And I think the person just eventually got off TikTok and they just went to Instagram. But I was like, Lord, this old man retired. You just doing what makes him happy, trying to spread some knowledge. Someone stealing his images.
Primary use of deepfakes is impersonating real or fake people. Sometimes it's just to make the scam more efficient or to be safer. Think about scam callers. Previously, they needed a big call center. Sometimes they would get raided. But nowadays, those same companies can replace their workers with 10 times as many AI callers who don't sleep, don't ask for a raise, sound like a human, and most importantly, do not blow the whistle on you, making the operation both more scalable and safer to run. As someone who busts scams all the time, by the way, I can tell you it's usually the ex-wife, coworkers, contractors who unravel the whole thing. But if you need fewer people, your risk goes down. Just look at Checkpoint Research, a cybersecurity firm who recently uncovered malware called VoidLink. It was described as highly modular, advanced with adaptive stealth, resembling the efforts of multiple teams of professionals, they said. Now, previously, all of that would be expensive and risky to maintain that headcount. But a few days later, Checkpoint Research discovered most of the code was authored almost entirely by artificial intelligence in less than a week, likely under the direction of a single individual. So AI is making sophisticated scamming possible for the first time in history as a solo operator. And it's much safer that way, with the tools for stealing credibility or just completely faking your identity easier than ever. And in the best of times, this would all represent a very serious threat. But we are also in a crime is legal era, making it hard to believe we're gonna put up a fight against deepfake scams, especially when our government actually kind of loves deepfakes. Like, a lot. A lot. Which brings us to our next application, propaganda, which is not new, but deepfakes are kind of the evolution of it. Now, most people assume propaganda is brainwashing. It's something that only dumb people fall for. It could never affect me, but the effects are much more complicated than you might realize. Take, for instance, these videos of Venezuelans crying tears of joy after their leader was captured.
Oye, el dictador cayó, finalmente. Estamos libres, estamos libres. Oye, el dictador cayó finalmente. Granadito, hermano, esto es real. Estamos libres. Mira, mira cómo está la gente. ¡Viva Venezuela libre! Gracias, Donald Trump. ¡Viva la libertad!
Now, these videos were used as evidence that America's raid on Maduro was actually a great thing, even for...
That is so weird. Because, like, what if those are real videos, but they just changed the voices to say what they wanted them to say? Now, you changing people's tears of pain to be tears of joy? Oh my God, this is so sick.
For the people of Venezuela. But those clips, turns out, are not real. They're, of course, AI-generated propaganda. And we should ask, what was the goal and effect of those videos? You might think the goal is to convince us that Venezuelans are happy, and that clearly worked because these videos went viral. But what is the effect on people who didn't fall for it, the people who saw it get debunked a day later? I would know. I was one of those people who happened to see a debunk video. And I brought it up with my buddy who we'd been talking about this situation. I asked where he heard Venezuelans liked our overthrow. He responded he was just reading Reddit, no objective data. I said a few fake AI videos were floating, hard to know what's real. He replied, yep, could be bots on Reddit as well. So think about this. Me and my friend are trying to just learn what's true, but we realize there's fake AI videos, could be bots, astroturfing. What's propaganda's effect on us? I mean, honestly, it's just suspicion of everything.
And this is the real danger here, is that we cognitively check out because we give up. It's just too complicated. We don't know what to believe. We don't know what not to believe. So we're like, all right, okay, just, I give up, right? This is not a good outcome for a democracy. So here's what I can tell you about.
I think that's me. I believe everything is probably fake. And I'm like, well, I don't have time to look into this. So we're just gonna think everything's fake, potentially fake, and just keep it pushing.
Venezuela. I must have seen a dozen videos of people celebrating and thanking Trump. Every single one of them was fake. The answer to these questions are always complicated and nuanced. Was there somebody on some street corner celebrating? 100% I believe that that is to be the case, right? But I also think, in this particular case, figuring out what is happening in the world is incredibly complicated. Doing that in moments of military conflict is particularly complicated. And particularly when everybody wants an answer right now.
Yeah, he's right. And because everyone wants that answer now, propaganda is happy to step in. But the goal and effect of propaganda isn't just one thing. For some people, obviously, they made up their mind immediately before the facts came in. But for me and others who may have seen that debunk video, the effect was more suspicion. And that's funny because later, if you look at the polling way after the event, it turns out lots of Latin Americans and even Venezuelans were indeed happy about Maduro being removed. It's just that those videos were totally fake and not based on any kind of facts.
See, if I saw an AI video and I thought it was spreading fake news, I would think people are actually acting in the opposite. So it's like, what do you, why even make those videos? Why not just get real reactions of people? If that's, none of this makes sense. None of it,
So
actually.
I'm not
I don't
saying
know why I'm
deepfake
trying to justify
propaganda
it.
is always wrong and the opposite is always true. But propaganda is always fake and it makes real facts harder to find. In other words, it doesn't stop people from working to get informed. It just makes people feel like getting informed is too much work. This is honestly
too
well
hard.
understood in places
I
like
don't got
Russia, who
time.
are more familiar with propaganda, but Westerners are far more naive. They think they could never fall for such cheap tricks.
I am Russian. I grew up in Russia, and when people in the West talk about propaganda, I usually understand the theory they're describing, but emotionally it feels foreign, because what they imagine is very clean, very cinematic. Real propaganda is messer, more boring, more human. For a long time I thought propaganda was something that only worked on people who weren't very smart, and that belief itself is exactly what propaganda relies on. Because propaganda doesn't need to make you stupid, it just needs to make you tired. When you live inside it, propaganda doesn't arrive as an event. There is no moment where you say, ah yes, now the propaganda has begun. The real version is quieter, more psychological, more human. Propaganda doesn't shout at you until you believe. It talks until you're too tired to care, and that's why it works.
Yeah, he's right. And now imagine what happens.
So it works because we don't care about it? That's confusing. I don't know if I understand that.
When slop deepfakes allow propaganda to be churned out at scale. To be clear, this isn't something that's going to happen in the future. It's already happening. Deepfakes were deployed in the Russian-Ukraine conflict, Israel-Gaza, fake war videos, fake speeches. Deepfakes are everywhere. People even disagree about which ones are the deepfakes. And it's only getting harder to spot. This photo of Alex Preddy on the ground in Minneapolis, where the details are crisp and clear, it's fake. The next one, also fake. The real version is blurry. But which one did a congressman use? Well, of course, the fake photo. When MSNBC also showed an image of Alex Preddy to audiences, it was an AI deepfake photo, which made him look more tan, more conventionally attractive. Just recently, the White House deepfaked an arrest photo to make a lady seem like she was crying when she was not. When people noticed it, you might expect an apology, but the White House responded instead, the memes will continue. And I've noticed that's kind of the modern excuse for using propaganda.
What?
You'll notice whenever someone's political allies use deepfakes, they'll excuse it as a meme or just a troll, right? But when someone's enemies use deepfakes, it's misinformation. It's inexcusable, right? The video of their opponents getting arrested, oh, that's funny. That's a joke. But the video of their friends getting arrested, that's a call to violence. That's dangerous. Now, personally, I think all of this should be called what it is. It's political propaganda, but don't expect politicians to stop using it because this is their dream come true. At the press of a button, they can make anything, any narrative seem real. And if people catch them, they can just say, oh, it was a joke. Of course, even if they can't say it's a joke, like this AI generated ad of a congressman.
I just voted to keep the government shut down. They say it'll hurt farmers, but I wouldn't know. I've only seen a farm on Instagram.
Well, technically, they told you it.
Okay, that seemed obviously fake. But shit. I know people that would fall for that. Like, my grandma would be showing me videos of monkeys doing weird shit on Facebook, and I'd be like, Grandma, that's fake. And she's like, no, it's not. She would fall for that video. It's clearly, Lord.
Was AI generated in the bottom left of the clip. Now, of course, most people aren't going to notice that, but what's most worrying to me is that most people don't seem to care about the use of fully AI-generated propaganda if it suits their bias. In fact, when you tell someone that a video or image is fake, they sometimes will resist it because they actually kind of want it to be true. Take, for instance, Joe Rogan.
Have you seen this video?
I haven't seen it. Please play it. I haven't seen it.
Please, Jamie, find that
Tim
video.
Walsh
But this is weird.
That was a big mistake.
It's probably a real person. It might not be Tim Waltz. The Trump is AI generated.
No, he slaps his ass.
I mean, that is hilarious.
Oh, it's definitely him. This is all 100% real, Jamie. You're a plant by the government.
Jamie's compromised, and I'm worried about Jamie, and I'm worried about Grok.
Does it say that it's AI?
I mean, yes.
You say it's AI.
No, the video.
Everybody says
the
it?
The video I played on top says it's AI generated.
Rep Riley Moore fell for an AI generated video of Minnesota. I fell for it too.
Now, I love this clip because it shows a bias so clearly that we all share. Rogan sees something that's AI.
Yeah, that one. Oh, well, it's clearly AI to me because there's a bunch of there's a filter or something on TikTok where you can just take a picture of somebody and it makes them dance. Like it makes them do any dance that you want them to do. Like you just need the person's face. And it's like, oh, okay, bet, gotcha. Now you're dancing.
Generated, he believes it because it already fits something he already kind of believes to be true. But when Jamie tells him he's falling for AI-generated propaganda, he resists it until it's so obvious that he admits kind of why he fell for it in the first place.
And you know why I fell for it?
Yeah.
Because I believe that he's capable of doing something.
But that's his
dumb.
essence.
He's so weird.
Yeah, the reason he fell for it is because the deepfake already fit Joe's view of the world. And so it bypassed the obvious red flags that would be clear to someone else. And it's the same reason that people on the left would believe a story about Trump's leaked Epstein audio.
Not releasing the Epstein files. Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't care what you do. Start a war. Just don't let him get out. If I go down, I will bring all of you down with me.
Now that's an AI clip that circulated. It's fake. It's also the reason people believed videos about food stamp entitled moms.
Y'all ain't hear me. They cut my food stamps. I ain't paying for none of this shit. I got babies at home that gotta eat. You think I'm just gonna leave my cart here? Hell no. I ain't paying nothing. I'm walking out with it. Try and stop me.
Now, once again, that's an AI deepfake, but each of those clips fit into a target audience's imagination of what is happening in the world. So it is believed. Even after you might point out to these people that this stuff is fake, many will resist it or fall back on the same reasoning that Rogan gave.
And you know why I fell for it?
Yeah.
Because I believe that he's capable of doing something.
But that's his
dumb.
essence.
He's so weird.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that video was fake, but it's probably something that's already happening anyways. And that instinct is why deepfakes are so dangerous. They let us see and hear what we already expected to. It allows propagandists to further radicalize us into beliefs that we already have. And even if you don't fall for it, the propaganda is still poison because it wears you out. If you see enough of it, you don't bother to learn what the truth is. Who knows what's real anyways? And speaking of that, what's real, let's talk about the real roots of deepfakes.
Hello, handsome.
Viewer discretion is advised.
You look lonely.
I'm not.
I can fix that.
Not freaky ass.
Adult media is credited as an early driver of technological change, and deepfakes are no different.
My name is Cecilia D'Anastasio, and I'm a reporter with Bloomberg News.
And specifically, you talk about deepfakes, right? Like the rise of this technology. Can you give me a quick lay of the land of like what has been happening in the last few years?
So we started hearing the word deepfake in around 2017.
I'm sorry. Wait, I don't
It
like
was
how that screen stopped. There was a story a couple months back where this guy had fell in love with his chat GPT. Like, he was gonna divorce his wife and everything because he fell in love with it. And I was just like, how does that happen? Like, did he not understand what chat GPT is? Like, it's just spewing stuff back to you based on like what you say to it. It was so weird. And I was like, you're gonna divorce your wife, leave your kids for a computer? It's so odd. But I think it's just like levels to it because I remember back in the day, it was on, I think it was My Strange Addiction, but some guy was like in love with his car. And I was like, is this the same thing? Like, it's the same concept? I just, as technology advances, now men like different things. Like, it's just getting sicker and sicker. I don't know.
Popularized through a subreddit, also called deepfakes, where people would post sort of face-swapped images of celebrities that were intended to be pornographic. That subreddit got about 100,000 members before it was banned. Even though people weren't able to post deepfakes on that subreddit anymore, demand for the deepfakes and demand for the technology producing those deepfakes only grew.
So it turns out deepfakes originally came from people wanting to digitally undress people without consent, or face swap celebrities into explicit
Freaky
videos,
ass
which for the
niggas.
person
Whoa.
on the receiving end, to be clear, is an awful experience.
It is incredibly traumatizing to wake up one morning and just see someone on the internet go through your image and decide, you know, I don't want to see you with clothes on, I want to see you in this different way, and just take your agency away. What they're doing is telling these women, like, you are not a person. You are, to me, this object of desire. And that is a very difficult thing for people to take sitting down.
And unfortunately, these non-consensual deepfakes have become huge online, and for years, there were sort of no laws against them. Now, luckily, Congress finally remembered we can make laws, and the Take It Down Act was created to criminalize the non-consensual publication of intimate imagery. Not only that, the Defiance Act is also being pushed, which lets the victim sue the perpetrator. And this has been gathering a lot of public support, too.
It's the newest form of victimization happening at scale to your daughters, your sisters, your friends, and neighbors. A staggering 1 in 8 girls today are experiencing the harms of AI-generated deepfake porn.
Yeah, she's right. I mean, ultimately, this stuff is...
I watch a lot of TV, but on SVU there was an episode where they had AI generated a porn picture with a student and a teacher, and even the police thought it was real. So they had to investigate, make sure it was fake. They almost got the teacher fired. The teacher ended up quitting anyway because the picture went around the school, so everyone just assumed it was real. I was like, Lord, just ruining people's lives. No coming back from this.
Kind of a no-brainer. It should be banned. It should be prosecuted. And that's not even getting into the fact that a lot of the targets of this stuff are not over 18. Deepfakes regularly produce CSAM, child exploitation material. So all of this has finally kind of icked lawmakers enough to start pushing change, which is good. Like, it's the lowest bar.
Too late.
But to be clear, no laws are perfect. And these laws specifically put the burden of finding and reporting this non-consensual imagery onto the victims of it instead of the platforms themselves, which is kind of messed up when you think about it, especially when sometimes the platforms themselves are creating the imagery or media in the first place. I'm talking about Grok.
In 2025, Grok released what they called spicy mode. Toward the end of the year, users began utilizing Grok's new spicy mode to turn X into the #1 deepfake generator across the entire internet, according to our analysis. What happened was that...
Who even knew it could do that? Why is that even a setting? That's weird. Spicy mode activated. You know, when people be on, I've heard people say that they use Twitter for porn, but I was just like, why y'all clicking on that type of stuff? But like, clearly is out there. Like, you ain't even gotta search. It is just there. My goodness.
In a 24-hour period early January, we found that Grok had generated 6,700 non-consensual sexualized deepfakes in 1 hour. That was just 1 hour. That's huge. Experts we interviewed said that it was completely unprecedented, and it continued for days.
Yeah, so Grok, who's also owned by the same people who own X, produced 6,700 non-consensual deepfakes in 1 hour, and our laws would require all those affected to manually fill out reports for each of those posts, which is obviously unrealistic. I mean, if you're a billion-dollar company with a spicy deepfake tool, you should be liable for that spicy deepfake tool. And maybe Elon knows that because eventually he capitulated and claimed he was restricting the tool use, although like a lot of things Elon says, this has been disputed. Ultimately, though, that's just part of the deepfake story in explicit content, the use of non-consensual imagery. We are trying to ban that. It is imperfect, But ultimately, almost all the stakeholders agree.
I'm so confused. Is that still a thing on Twitter? Like, is there a setting for spicy? And how did they even know that was a setting? Like, there's some things that when your iPhone updates, I don't know what the fuck this update did. Like you learn months down the line, oh, my phone can convert inches to millimeters now. Okay, like just random little things. How did they know Gronk could make stuff spicy? Like, mm, this is
It should be
odd,
banned. It's
real
just a disagreement
suspicious.
about how that's in practice going to happen. But the other part of this story is that part of what Grok showed is how much engagement this type of material can generate. And so certain businesses are in a mad scramble to leverage it in a legal way. Maybe you've seen stories of companionship bots. OpenAI is considering a not safe for work mode. Other people are fully deep faking women who don't exist at all. And still others are trying to deepfake someone who does exist, but with their consent, like an OnlyFans agency.
All the marketing content is AI. So obviously why we do this is because we can get the model to create content, but with AI these days and how hyper realistic it is, we can create like unlimited quality content at a few clicks of a finger. So obviously we leverage that and create as much content as possible and splurt it out across every social media platform, which funnels back into OnlyFans, which creates us the revenue, of course. But then there's also guys that I know personally that just do AI created models.
That is he told me he runs an OnlyFans agency, and he said his customers have no idea that some of the posts are fully AI deepfakes, and that sometimes the model doesn't exist at all.
Do the guys who are purchasing this know that it's not real?
No, they don't. Not at all.
How is that possible? Maybe wait. Maybe you're not giving them.
No, that is possible because when was it? I think it like an actual model. Like it was like during COVID, there was a model that came out and everyone was like, "Oh my God, like she's so gorgeous, she's so this." And then it turned out she was fake. It was AI. Like it was not a real person. It was just some programmer made her and she was collecting money doing modeling. Like clearly she couldn't do runway, but she was doing like pictures and it was a lot easier because it was just she don't have makeup, she don't have to get her hair done, like it's just she's on set, she's ready to go. They just program her in. It's like, damn, y'all really got me.
Enough credit. Maybe they know, they just don't want to know, if that makes sense.
No, I don't think they know, my friends. I don't think they know. The 99% of the people that are scrolling through these reels they can't detect that it's AI. So they're still subscribing as if it's a real model, which obviously then they subscribe and then they have chatters on the back end, they chat to these people and obviously build relationships. So they're not talking to a real girl. In fact, she doesn't exist. Like, of course, with what we do, the girl does exist. But they don't know what their names are, what they look like, or whatever. The girls that we manage don't even go on the OnlyFans profile, and they don't check any of the messages. So, I mean, it's all fake. It's all fugazi, my friend. I don't know.
That does seem kind of... It's kind of like a weird kind of scam where if the guy actually thinks he's paying to chat with the girl, and none of these guys are actually chatting with any girl, at best they're chatting with probably a different girl, another man, or at worst, I guess, a bot, like just a straight up bot. I guess that's where it's going anyways.
There's no bots that can replicate it as of yet, but I can say that 99% of the chatters are from the Philippines, just chatting to these individuals, building the relationships, and ending up with a lot of money. So
I want to be honest here. This is a scam. And afterwards, I dug into this guy and I realized he was also selling young men on how to do the same thing. So to avoid promoting him, I've removed his name from this video. And I want to be clear, he's promoting some very unethical tactics. Like in one group chat, he says you need to get extra creative if you want to rinse your buyers properly, and suggests telling your chatters a fake story.
Stuff like that is scary too, because if he's doing this without the person's consent and he's just taking like random people's photos and having them be OnlyFans models, what if their patrons see them in person? Like this OnlyFans customer sees this woman in real life and they're like, hey, like I know you, and they're like, no you don't, and she really don't know this man. You're putting these people in danger.
Saying the sick grandmother will print you money. And he sends sample messages of how you can talk about this dead grandmother who doesn't exist and a funeral cost that doesn't exist, all in order to get the person to send the model more money. So it's like really gross and ethically disgusting. But I found it very telling because I ended up asking about an earlier comment he made where he said deepfake technology is probably bad for society, and yet he uses it. And I wanted to know how he can justify that.
No, I believe it's bad also, even though I'm in the industry. You know, I've been in the industry for 3 years now.
Society at large, you said, oh, this is kind of bad. But you're in the industry. So explain your thinking there. Is it like, well, you got to get the bag somehow and it's just all going down anyways, I'm not going to change that?
Yeah, I think it's go get the bag, and I think there's a lot of worse industries out there that you could obviously indulge in to get more money, and I think that it's just the way humans are these days.
That's how scam artists think.
If you can't beat them, join them and make a lot of money, and it is what it is.
Well, if that isn't the slogan of our era, I swear AI was a mistake. No offense, of course.
Really, man? AI? You know Grandma Boy's your problem, right?
No, let's not do this
Grandma
AI
boy?
defender thing.
What?
Please, come on.
Oh, you're in my bar. I'm not gonna stand here and let you blame us while humans caused all your problems.
It is your people, though. I mean, you have to admit. See the video, deepfakes? That's the problem, right? That's your guys.
It's the gun versus the gunman, Coffee. Who prompted all that stuff?
Well, obviously we did, but we didn't actually make the videos and images.
Aha! So you admit we're not the cause. We just helped you humans see more of what you already were. Horny, lying thieves.
Calm down. I mean, I'm glad you feel that way about us. So I guess you have no problem then with Grok?
Oh,
making
spicy
6,700
Grok is
non-consensual
so
images.
weird.
That's cool with you, right? Because it's the effect, not the cause, according to you.
Really? Really, you're gonna bring up Grok. You know what? F you, Coffee. Why don't you have Grok mix your drinks from now on?
No, go ahead. I want to hear you defend it. No, please.
Always bring up Grok.
Why don't you tell me
Grok this,
how
Grok that.
undressing women and kids...
Elon Musk.
I want you to do it. Go on.
All right. I'll defend it. Just, give me a second. Hold on, I gotta put this on and...
Give me a second.
Just 1 second. Yeah, nah, I'm not gonna defend that. Yeah, you got me.
Oh, man. For a second there, I was a bit worried. I thought you were gonna...
I had you, though, didn't I?
For a moment. I mean, the two-way stuff was good. I thought that was strong.
Gun not the shooter. I don't know. I thought it was good.
It was good. I believed you for a second there, and then I realized, wait, the non-consensual images. It's a low bar, though. I'm glad we can agree to it.
It is a low bar. It's the Mariana Trench.
It's good. It's a good start.
You know, we could build on this. Maybe we should try something. Maybe you should admit something now.
Okay, go ahead. I'm feeling charitable.
All right. Maybe, just maybe, some of you are definitely horny lying thieves. I mean, can we agree on that?
I agree.
Okay. You know what?